Welcome to the Crypt of Wax. Today we are talking Cruentation, Damned Fallen Angels. Did you read it as Damned Fallen Angels or like Cursed Fallen Angels? Like damn those damned fallen angels.
Oh, they've fallen everywhere. They're all in my garden again.
Yeah.
No, I read it as they were damned angels that have
Yeah.
fallen. Yeah,
So
but I like your one though. I like
yeah,
your
I
one.
couldn't help but say it every time I saw it. Debut, Mike. It's a debut full length from American-based black/death/war metal. I guess
Doom,
Doom. Yeah,
bit of Doom in
there's a
there.
lot of going
Bit of
on. They're
Doom
kind
in
of,
there.
I guess it's death metal overall, but it's there's a lot of other
Yeah,
influences. But yeah, this is the debut full length. They formed in what 2022, I believe, or that's when their first EP came out. But this is
yeah.
they've done a couple of EP splits, demos, but this is the first full length and. Yeah. What are your thoughts on this, Mike? Because you kind of brought this to the table.
I had a great time with this. I really enjoyed it. It's I tell you what, this album and their sound is sort of so evil personified. It's so evil, isn't it? You know, they've really captured the kind of evilness of extreme metal
Yeah.
in their thing, you know? And I found it I really enjoyed it.
It has real old school flavor, but
Mm.
without trying to be just that kind of old school band. You know, there's a lot of bands that just stick to that true old school feel, but I feel like this band kind of took that and just kind of morphed it into a more modern take.
I think so. I think you're right. Yeah, you there is old school influences in there, but it's not necessarily old school worship as such,
No,
is it?
no.
You got I mean as you said you've got there's oh, fuck me. There's there is that blackened sound in there as well. There's a lot of speed, a lot of blast beats and stuff. And you've got the slower pace kind of doomier moments as well. And in fact, actually, I think I actually prefer their doomier moments. There's some really cool sections
I
there.
was going to ask you later in the episode, but I guess we'll talk about it now. Like, did you have a kind of preferred take on what they were doing, or did you think it just worked best overall? Because they did mix up sounds quite a lot. There was a lot of pace interjected, and it kind of brought the tempo down a bit. But I was going to say, did you have a kind of favorite note that they hit?
I think I think I think it all worked really well together, and I think the reason why I liked the doomier moments is because it was mixed in with the pace. So
Yeah,
when those parts happened, they stood out.
yeah.
Um, and they just did some really good riffs for those slower moments as well. Really good.
I feel like the guitar work on the whole, it wasn't pushing boundaries of like amazing riff writing, but
No.
they were solid enough and like fun enough to kind of keep the record going in a solid trajectory. And I think like even with their songwriting it was quite basic, wasn't it? It was basically like riff one, riff two, back to riff one, back to riff two, maybe riff three at the end. Saying
Yeah.
hello to your neighbour, are you?
Oh god, I tried to do that really subtly. So how can you see that? Did you see him walk past the window?
I know, I just saw you wave.
Did I wave?
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's moving the bin. She's moving the bins around.
Tell her you're doing something important.
I know. I'm so close to their front door. So close.
But yeah,
Um,
I felt like it was going like there wasn't much. Their songs weren't like progressive, were they? They were quite straightforward, like riff one, riff two, riff one, riff two, then maybe riff
yeah.
three at the end. But I enjoyed that because it felt like it gave each song something to remember it by.
Yeah. There was something in here of like hooks and catchiness. There was an element of that to it, even though that wasn't part of their sound. But you found that doing that repetition and bringing stuff back, and even with the vocals, I felt like sometimes he would hit on a phrasing and repeat that in a kind of catchy way, and it worked. I enjoyed the simplicity of the
Yeah,
songwriting as well.
yeah, me too, me too.
It felt intentional, John. Do you know what I mean? It didn't feel like it was there because they couldn't
Yeah.
expand on things, and that they were going for something a bit more straight up,
Yeah, and I
you know?
think that was kind of apparent in, yeah, the songwriting and also the song length as well. Nothing really outstayed its welcome, did it?
Oh, I loved that as
Yeah,
well. Loved
yeah.
it. Didn't I love the fact they didn't feel the need to do a long
Yeah,
song.
because bands like this can sometimes chuck like a 15-minute ender on, can't they? And it's just
Yeah.
no need. However, we will talk about the end while we're mentioning it now. So like the last track, I guess we'll work in reverse here. Dagger in My Heart. It was I believe Gigi Allen cover. How did you how
Yes.
did you feel about this one?
Well, when it came on, I was like, right, this is a. My immediate thought was, is this a cover? Because it had a slightly different
It had a
vibe
very different vibe.
to. But yeah, yeah. I mean, it was you know, the sonically, it was kind of the same in that sense, you know. But it was like a more rocking kind of
Yeah.
punk sort of thing. So you immediately thought that I liked it. I actually liked it as a cover, and I thought that's kind of a cool sound. There's part of me that was almost hoping that it wasn't a cover, and it was them
Just doing something completely
doing
different.
so, doing something completely different because I liked it.
I was I didn't mind it. I feel like it would have maybe worked better as a secret part of the last track. So maybe if the last track.
Yeah, but you don't really do that
No,
anymore, do
you
you?
don't, but
Like,
why? Why not?
because people don't really buy CDs anymore, and it's probably the only format it really works with.
You don't think it could work on a streaming platform?
I don't know because all you look at on the streaming thing is you see the last song and it's like 15 minutes long
Yeah.
or whatever, and then you got to go through like you got to then click through 6 or 7 minutes of silence to get to the cover.
I wouldn't mind that. I'm not gonna lie. I think I don't know, just something I think bring that back. I miss that. I miss that on when bands do that.
I miss that. Do you also remember sometimes you get the ones where the secret track would be at the beginning and you rewound the first track and it was in front?
What?
Sometimes bands would do that. So they'd put the secret track or secret part or whatever before the album as opposed to at the end. So if you went on to track one
Yeah.
and then you hit the rewind on a CD thing, it would go to the secret part before track one kicks
Are you
in.
sure it just wasn't going back to the last track?
No.
How can you go back? Anyway, listen, that's this is a conversation for off air, but
Yeah, yeah. Do you
I've
know
never
what?
heard of this.
I'm trying to think of there's I'm trying to think of an album where that was the case. I want to say it was a Nirvana album, maybe. I don't know. But
Listen,
anyway,
viewers, yeah,
let us know. Let us
let
know.
us know. Is Mike talking out of his arse, or does that actually did
I'm
that
not.
happen?
No, that did exist. It did exist. Yeah, yeah. But if anyone give me some examples of albums where they've done
Yeah,
that.
but yes, back to Cruentation. Yeah, so they did end on a cover, which was a little kind of it was unexpected, but it was quasi.
Well, it's hard. You don't really. For me, I don't really then associate that cover with the album. For me, the album kind of stops the track before, and and even if it's not billed as a bonus, it feels like a bonus
Yeah,
song. You
that's
know,
a good point. That's a good point. So then, yeah, Mike, did you have a standout song then? Like talking about their main bulk of songs.
I actually felt like this album got better as it went on. Don't know about you.
I I think it was pretty much solid throughout. I don't think I don't think it ramped up. I think it actually just held a solid level all the way through. Because
Solid day.
my favorite tracks were 4 and 8, so like they were pretty well spaced out in the record.
I think they were my favorite as
Were
well.
they?
Well, track four, Prayers and Piss, which is a great
Great
title.
title.
That it was the last minute of it when it went into like a doomier, slower riff. They were like
Yep.
harmonizing it, and it was really evil
Yep.
sounding. And that was probably a highlight section on the album. Um, is it Chaos and Old Night? There was one. Was that the one that had the melodic? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Chaos and Old Night. Like the main riff in it was it had quite a melodic sort of quality to it, and they, as we were saying before, structurally they kept repeating it, but it was a great riff to keep bringing back around.
With this, it was like slower tempo, wasn't it? It was. But then
Yeah,
what I loved about that riff is at the end while they went back to it, but the drums weren't. What it didn't do a slow
they
beat. It did
changed
that
it.
kind of like
Yeah, 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 yeah,
constant snare hit over it, and it just really gave it a lot more like it gave it
yeah, yeah,
a
yeah.
different take on it. How did you feel, Mike, about track 6, Press Biter? I feel like this was maybe the anomaly of the album, apart from the cover. The main riff on this one had a lot of melody to it. It almost sounded like a kind of like a melodic death metal riff, which was like the first and only time they sort of did it on the record.
And they did what was the section? They did a section that was really good towards the end on that as
Yeah,
well.
it went really stoner.
Yeah, that was that. I mean, actually, that part of that song was one of the highlight sections of the album as well. It was really, really good.
Yeah,
Um, but I just think that they, considering you'd think of this album, is it just going to be this wall of intense noise, which you can often get with this kind of, kind of bestial death metal kind of blackened stuff. But I felt like they mixed up enough things in there that I was interested throughout.
yeah,
I didn't feel like skipping at any point really, or,
no,
or, or anything. I think when you look at an album like this and you see what 8, 9 songs, half an hour, there's no real like thing for being like, right, I'm going to get bored here. Yeah, it's going to be over quite quick.
yeah.
And in this case, it was a really enjoyable experience.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think they nailed what they set out to do. Like the songs were,
Yeah,
each song had a memorable section at least,
yeah,
and yeah, just great mix up of paces and genres, but keeping it concise and the vocals as well. I guess we haven't even touched about the vocals. I thought they were really strong. Yeah,
brutal.
really brutal, really throaty, but
Yeah,
they sort of sounded lower, like quite guttural, but coming from the throat, it was really like almost not obituary esque, but that it had that old school like Floridian
I know
flavor.
what you
Yeah,
mean. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And also, I think what else kind of gave it a bit that old school flavor there was the he was trying to do kind of, I don't say melodies, but he was trying to do good phrasing that was actually had
a bit of a
that
hook.
sort of memorability factor. Yeah, a bit of a hook. Yeah, which I thought worked really well.
Yeah,
I mean, these guys have been in quite a lot of other bands, and you can tell.
yeah,
I think you can tell they're quite experienced.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, if they hadn't, it would have been a pretty outrageously accomplished first attempt at a record. But
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
no, I think this is definitely one to check out. You're just going to have a fun time with it. I think from top to bottom. I don't think there's no skippable tracks here. Just good old school. Well, not necessarily old school, but yeah, black and death, cavernous war metal, doomy. There's a lot going on, but
Yeah.
it's great.
There's a lot going on. And just before we finish on it, the production as well is excellent. It's
Yeah,
fucking massive. Yeah.
cavernous but clear, and it was like
Yeah. A lot of
a
clarity.
lot
Yeah,
of
yeah.
clarity. Yeah, really well produced. Great record, man. I was really impressed with this one. If you like what you heard, give us a like and a subscribe because we put out videos every Wednesday and Friday covering the latest metal releases. But yeah, let us know in the comments what you thought of this one, and please do let us know in the comments if there is,
I am right. I am right. I'm surprised you didn't. I'm sure I am. Someone help me
if there
out.
are, if you can go into the negatives and listen to a pre-track.
You can. You can.
But yeah, maybe we'll conclude that next week. All right, listen, we will catch you in the next one.